about what lupus is and how it affects me. So I have something called SLE. It's systemic lupus, I think it's erythematosus. It's a big long name. It basically means lupus for short, and my immune system is very overactive. So what it does is it attacks its own cells. It thinks that its own cells are foreign, like a virus. So it'll attack my own cells and try to destroy them, which is bad, as you can imagine. So in return of that, like what happens is it becomes like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, because it's too overactive, the immune system can't keep up with other things. So when I get sick with the flu, or even just like an upper respiratory illness or any sort of virus or cold, it lasts 3 or 4 times as long as it does in other people, because my body is already attacking itself. So now it has to deal with the virus on top of that. So we are immunocompromised, but our immune system is also overactive. So that's kind of the opposite of AIDS, where AIDS, the immune system is not active enough. It's underactive. So what it does is I go through periods of remission and flares where they say it's remission, but I don't really use that word when it comes to lupus, because I don't feel like it's ever really like truly in remission. It just, there's times where it doesn't bother me quite as much as other times. So those I just call good days, and then the flares would be bad days. On the flares, the bad days, I have extreme joint pain. I'm incredibly tired. I get a headache. My head feels fuzzy. Like, my mind feels fuzzy. It's harder to get out my words the way that I want to say them, or as fast as I'd like to say them. So I have to think longer and harder about what I'm trying to say, so it comes across the way I'm trying to say it. And I lose some hair. I have a spot up here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a bald spot, and that's not glamorous to show on camera, but that's lupus. Sometimes when I'm in a flare, I'll take a shower and I'll just comb through my hair and I will pull out just a wad of hair. And it's disturbing, but it's what happens. But I am blessed that I have nice thick hair, so thankfully I can miss a chunk and it's not too bad. And I can also cover this up on the top with my hair. So I am fortunate to have thick hair, because I know there's some of you out there that don't have thick hair and it may be more noticeable. But regardless, if you have bald spots or your hair is falling out in clumps, you're still beautiful. We're all beautiful. It's just something lupus does. It doesn't make any of us really any different. We just, may have a little less hair and spots. Also, besides the joint pain and the tiredness and the hair loss and the fuzzy mind, having trouble getting words out, I also notice I tend to be a little more clumsy. Like, my coordination gets a little weird. So I'm like the girl that's tripping up the stairs and like trying to drink water, and I just suddenly like choke and cough on nothing. And yeah, that's me. So I always blamed it on being French, but now I'm starting to think I think lupus has something to do with it too. So everyone has different symptoms. Some people get skin rashes, particularly on their face. They call it a butterfly rash. And I don't really get that. I've never really had that. So I feel fortunate that I don't have that. I do have eczema, though, on my fingers that get worse in the winter, and it gets much better in the summer. So on the days that are good days, I still may have some achiness, some joint pain, some tiredness, and things like that, but it doesn't affect me nearly as bad as when I'm in a flare. And my flares tend to last anywhere between, on the short side, a couple days. On the long side, I think the worst one I had was like 2 months, and that was awful. At the time, I wasn't on proper medication to calm it down. So now I found a really great medication that works for me. And I'm not claiming it's going to work for everybody, but it's called Imuran. And it's also known as azathioprine. That's the generic name. It's a disease-modifying type of drug. No, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. It's not. It's an anti-rejection drug. So it's for people who have like kidney transplants and they don't want their body to reject the kidney. So then they take Imuran. It's also used as chemotherapy, and that is why I use it for lupus. And it does have a lot of side effects, which can be very inconvenient. There's nausea, there's headache, there's fatigue. Memory loss is the biggest issue that I suffer with the Imuran, because even though it controls my lupus rather well, I have days where like it's like short-term memory loss. Like you can tell me something and then I'll forget it. But thankfully it hasn't affected me to the point that, you know, I can't do daily life. I can still do daily life. I still pay the bills. I still drive my car. I still run my household. I take care of my daughter. I homeschool her. Like, I'm still very functional in that respect, and I'm very blessed. I feel blessed for that. But just little things that are aggravating. Like, you know, someone might say, oh, well, I told you this last week. And I'll be like, or I told you this, you know, a couple days ago. So things like that. And I have to try and be patient with myself and be kind to myself, because it's not my fault that it slipped my mind. And what I do is I keep a lot of notes in my phone, and I write down lists, and I set reminders that actually do like a little chime, like a little ding thing. So when I need to remember something, it's right there. So it's basically electronic lists that I use. And I also, you know, have very supportive family and friends. So if I'm having a rough day, I can call them up and discuss with them, you know, what's going on, and which is great. So that's pretty much the main symptoms that I have. The joints that tend to be affected the most are like my knees, my elbows, my feet and my hands, you know, like wrists and hands and things like that. Yeah, and it's tough. It's tough being constantly tired. You have to like, there's a great video that I saw, and it's called The Spoon Theory, and I want to give a shout out. I'm sorry I don't know your name, who made the video, but it is a great video, because it explains how we have to manage and budget our energy, and we can't spend too much energy on one thing. So if taking a shower takes 2 spoons and you only have 12 or 20 spoons for the day, just using it as an example, I'm not sure how much it is, but you have to budget those spoons, and you have to make sure that what you're doing is worth it, instead of wasting all your spoons and then the next day you pay for it, with a flare, or, you know, some sort of thing that hits you out of nowhere, and you pay for things sometimes, but sometimes it's worth it. It's worth it to go see that movie with your friend, or, you know, have the dinner with your mother, because those are memories that you make. So even though I know for some of the things I choose to do, and they do use some spoons, it's totally worth doing it, because I want to make those memories with people while I'm still here, while they're still here. So I hope this video has helped to explain some of my symptoms and what I deal with lupus, and I hope that it's answered your questions. And if you have lupus, or someone that you know has lupus, just keep encouraging them. You will get through it. If you're currently in a flare and it feels like nothing's going to get better, just take a deep breath and say, you know, I can get through this. There's a lot of people out there that have this. There's growing awareness, and that's one of the reasons why I'm making this channel, to raise awareness for the chronic illnesses that I have and that a lot of other people have. So if you are a pain warrior out there, keep going. You know, we can do this, and I want to encourage people to just keep trying. If you have a bad doctor, go to another one. If you're not on the right med, try something else. If you don't have supportive friends, get some new friends. Just surround yourself with what you need to get through another day. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and please like and subscribe. I need new subscribers. It's a new channel. Every subscriber I very much appreciate, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.